Good morning, everyone. This is BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And it's Friday, so I'm here with my partner, yay, Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva all the way from Sacramento, California. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. So, on Friday, we talk tech in English so that you can understand how to use these tools to do business better. Now, we're going to be diving into this day in tech in just a moment, but I want to remind you that it is the holidays. So, we think that people who care share. So we're going to ask you to share this out to your friends so that they too can find out how to use these tips and tools and get things working in their business on a better, what would you say, plane. Okay, with that, we're going to take off. And I want to introduce to some and present to others, Miss Francine Gregory. How you doing this morning, friend?
I am well. How are you all? Welcome to Tech Life Weekly with the Tech Divas. And like Terry said, we're talking tech in English. So welcome replay viewers, those who are watching live, Periscope, Facebook, YouTube, wherever we happen to be. Just want to say thank you for coming along for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
So every week we do this day in tech history. Actually, I pick a couple of things because so much has happened in tech history over the week. So let's just go there. December 5th, 1969, the University of Utah becomes the fourth node on the ARPANET.
Mm-hmm.
This completed the original nodes on the experimental network that would eventually evolve into what we now know as the internet. And this is a connectivity of different points between, how they had like the telegraph and they had the Pony Express and they had points that they would go to.
Yes.
Well, now this is the same thing except for it's on the internet. It's digital. It's connecting the dots, as it were.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Different places. Now the dots are connected all over the world. And before it was only connected in 1, 2, 3, 4 places. Utah, UC Santa Barbara, UCLA, and SRI, wherever SRI is. I just thought that was kind of interesting.
That's all right.
Good morning. Okay.
Morning.
And so, December 6th, 1994, Apple sues San Francisco Canyon Company, alleging they helped Intel and Microsoft steal code developed under contract for QuickTime for Windows.
Mm-hmm.
Espionage. Okay. In the tech world. Apple first released QuickTime for the Macintosh in December of 1991 and then contracted the San Francisco Canyon Company to port QuickTime to Windows in 1992. Microsoft's competing video for Windows technology was not as advanced as Apple's QuickTime, even when it came out a year after QuickTime.
Mm-hmm.
And so in 1993, Intel hired the San Francisco Canyon Company to help them optimize their own video technology. And later in 1993, Intel and Microsoft combined their efforts to improve video for Windows, releasing a version that was significantly improved and roughly matched the quality of QuickTime. Apple discovered that the code developed by the San Francisco Canyon Company was also present in the improved version of video for Windows and sued the San Francisco Canyon Company in 1994. And Apple expanded the lawsuit to include Intel and Microsoft, claiming that the companies knowingly used the San Francisco Canyon Company to help them steal the QuickTime code.
Mm.
It was later revealed that Apple was threatening Microsoft with a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit that was famously settled by Steve Jobs and Bill Gates in 1997. This settlement is now believed to have helped Apple survive long enough to transform themselves in the 2000s, ushering in the mobile device revolution and the new world of technology.
Wow.
Okay, just
There's a lot going on.
yeah, like you wouldn't think that people do that, but people are stealing codes and they're, I'm going to use a little bit of that over in my stuff when you didn't write the code. Okay.
Well, or you might have written the code, but you had an agreement.
And so people are doing.
It belonged to the company. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's why you need to get those things written, get it in writing. So to speak, to make sure, if it's your intellectual property, if you're doing it on behalf of another company, is it really yours or does it belong to the company? That needs to be spelled out in writing. Okay, the Byte Shop opens, and this is December 8th, 1975. Paul Terrell opens the Byte Shop, one of the first retail computer stores in the world. Besides that important distinction, Paul Terrell and the Byte Shop are famously known for ordering the first 50 computers from Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak's fledgling Apple Computer Company in 1976. As the story goes, the Steves initially intended the Apple I to be a kit where buyers would solder together the chips onto the circuit board themselves. So they abandoned that idea because not happening.
Well, at the time, that was the only way to get a computer put together was to do it yourself. Go ahead.
And as you at that time, the computers are in a big room somewhere. There was not a personal computer like we enjoy today, where we got a computer in our hand. We got a computer on a desktop. We got a computer on the
tablet.
We didn't have all of that. And, we could be taking this stuff for granted because they had to solder themselves. Okay, I remember using soldering, and I was like, yeah. As the story goes, the Steves, okay, we talked about that. It was going to be a kit.
They were called computer labs. Okay.
Thank you. Tell us your name. I think I know who Bertram is, but tell us your name so I can call you by name.
From Periscope.
Yeah.
Gary is over on Periscope too. How you doing, Gab?
So Terrell requested that instead they fully assemble the computers as he was having trouble selling other kits to people who couldn't put them together themselves. Okay. By insisting on a fully assembled computer, even though the Apple I still lacked a case, power supply, and keyboard, Terrell helped shape the future direction of Apple and the entire personal computer industry. The Apple II was the first personal computer to be manufactured and sold as completely assembled units, making them accessible to the average user, thus igniting the personal computer revolution.
Wow. Just think, if you still have those computers, some of them sold for thousands of dollars.
Right. And they weren't doing a whole lot. But
they are the originals. So it's Bertram. He says it's.
Hey Bertram, how you doing?
There it is.
So I saw some of the at our local Apple Core here is where they do their authorized repair place for Apple, and they still have some of the older models sitting on the shelves when you walk in. Yeah,
like a museum type of display.
Right. So I got two more stories for you, and then we're going to be out. Okay. Douglas Engelbart demos the mouse, December 9th, 1968. Douglas Engelbart and his team of researchers present a 90-minute public technology demonstration, including such innovations as hypertext, video conferencing, back in 1968. Really? Ooh. But
That
most,
was a big deal, girl.
yes, it
'Cause
was.
you didn't have to travel.
1968, video conferencing. Wow.
That what? That's some of that James Bond stuff.
Right. But most famously, the computer mouse. This is the first public demonstration of the mouse, witnessed by about 1,000 computer professionals in attendance. Wow.
There are a lot of people who are still, connected to their mouse. They're like, I don't have a mouse. I don't know what to do. And I understand it. It is panicky. It's sort of like driving a car without a steering wheel.
Right. Bertram says, if you put that comment up, Bertram says before Apple, AT&T and the government had it all.
Yes, they did.
So they had a corner on it, all of that stuff. And my last story for today. December 11th, 2008, Google releases the first stable public version of their web browser, Chrome. Chrome is now considered the third most popular web browser in the world.
Yes. And there are some things you can only do on Chrome and some things you can only do on others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bertram has another comment. He said AT&T invented the transistor and blocked all the research for years. I wonder, and now they wonder why they're in third place behind everybody else.
They're banking on
the spotlight,
Mm-hmm.
It's like having the capabilities, but not putting it out there for the rest of the people to prosper with it or to advance with it. I'm just gonna hold it. You know how they did.
Yeah.
How much was we playing for long distance phone calls until the cell phone came out?
Oh my gosh. And when they knew it was coming out, they really jammed us, didn't they? Trying to get that last bit of profit.
I was like, I remember, what was the name of that, WorldCom or something? I kept looking at the bill like, why is this bill $500 for what? A calls? And they still tried having people buy long distance service when the cell phone came out, and you can make phone calls with a cell phone and it didn't cost you to make long distance calls. Right now, if we was trying to call across the country, let alone the world, and we had to pay them rates that they was asking for back in the day.
It was really crazy.
So that is your week in tech history. What do you have for us today?
Well, I was looking on the web and they had a little story about, well, it's a big story about how tech is helping blind people navigate during this season. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. Hold on. Let's see. Let me get this queued up here. And where's my StreamYard? Okay, so there she is. And I'm going to get this party started. Let's see. Where is it? Where's my tab? Okay, let's get her started. Come on, people.
Facing southwest along World Piazza. Not that it always gets it right. Is there bike parking in front of her? That was last year. Now, the new iPhone 12 comes with LiDAR to help users detect people around them. That's especially useful right now when we're all meant to be socially distancing. I asked my best friend Dave to help me give it a go.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Nice to see you.
In these strange, I have felt a bit anxious
Can
about
you hear
leaving
it?
the house.
Yes.
Have you tried it out the house yet, or is this the first
This is
time?
the first ever time. The world outside is so inaccessible at the moment for me. I don't know if people are going to cough in my face or where they are in proximity to me. But will this in my hand have the answer? There's no people detected, so I'm guessing that's correct. As we set off down my local high street, we saw the tool could be amazingly accurate. A white building with a red and white sign on it. A person wearing a helmet sitting on a motorcycle. Then again, it did also think that Dave was a child. Hilarious.
What does that just say? That just said child.
I don't know. It's telling me you're in front of a building though.
I mean, that's accurate.
But what really surprised me was the people proximity alerts.
Well, there's 2 people.
Yeah, got them.
It's almost getting almost every person that's walking past.
I love it. There's a person 1.5 meters away from me. Do I need to socially distance?
The smartphone counts down as people get closer.
I found you. You're 5 meters away.
I am.
4 meters away. 2.
You were ahead.
1.5.
And your cane is about to. There we go.
0.5. Thank goodness you're in my bubble, babe.
I think this is going to be useful even after the pandemic for tackling things like queues.
Right, you're there. A person standing on a sidewalk in front of a store. That is incredible. 2 meters away. I'm 2 meters away. Oh, there was a person. Honestly, I think knowing that people are around me freaks me out a little bit because I'm really not used to knowing where people are. So I'm going to have to get used to it. But I'm really excited that I can be in control again.
But any AI tool can only ever be as good as its training data.
And objects like braille readers or white canes have never been the focus of an AI database before, until now.
These clips have been collected by Microsoft, City University of London, and the University of Oxford. But they've all been filmed by people like Robin.
It's really important that blind people themselves are the ones to do the recording of the things that are important to them, that they're the ones that are capturing these training videos because they're the people that are going to be using the software to find the objects.
So far, some 3,000 videos have already been collected, and the project aims to gather around 10,000 clips in total.
Because this AI can learn from just a handful of clips, users will be able to teach it personalised objects. That means being able to pick out your keys or your cane from other people's.
So just imagine if I could train it to say, yep, Robin's shoes, or those are Robin's glasses, particularly when you've got family members leaving their stuff around as well. You know, is this my mug that I'm about to pick up, or is it somebody else's?
Wow, that sounds amazing. I use apps every single day, but I've never seen something that will personalise objects in my hand before, and this will be groundbreaking for the visually impaired community.
Whoops.
You just.
Am I unmuted now?
Yeah.
Okay. I just thought that it would be something else.
Yeah, your video's still going.
Really?
Other
Okay,
screen.
hold on. Let me mute myself.
So, hey TJ, how are you?
Hello.
And I got a comment over here from Bertram. He says, in the beginning, Apple learned from Microsoft, who was making new software for the government. Isn't that interesting? Okay.
Mm. Well, I decided to show that clip because our phones do so much for us. And I wanted you to know what it was doing for not just those of us who are temporarily able, but for those who have challenges. And the fact that it would now allow you to identify things on a table, that is helpful to everybody in the family. And to personalize what's going on around you, to be able to now window shop, because it will tell you what's in the window. Did you see when she was window shopping? It's a person on a motorcycle in the store window. So it began to read for her and allow her to visualize not just who's next to her, but what's in her sphere of influence. And
Right.
then what really was exciting to me was that the university was having those people who were visually impaired make the videos, film the video
Mhm.
to show to others who were similarly situated. So that just really caught my attention. And I have one more thing I want to share.
Hold on just a second.
See if this is hold on.
Okay, Terry.
Yes.
Okay, so one thing is another comment here. She said, "Wow, this is awesome."
I thought it was really important.
Okay, so then what does that mean for us? We have no reason why we're not going live, or why we can't use the technology. We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago about while we got downtime, get in there and learn what your phone does, because it has accessibility features. Some of them are a little annoying for us, but it's not annoying for the people who need them.
Yeah.
Like when it reads the screen and it continually reads everything that comes up, and you're like, okay, can you turn it off now? But somebody needs that.
Right. Somebody needs that.
Yep, because that's true, because the other day when I was trying to help someone, it kept reading the screen and I had to turn it off because it was too much for me. But for those people who need it, it's essential.
And somebody took the time to get in there and tweak it. Maybe they had a family member or something. They got in there and figured it out how to do that.
Yes. So, and I think the other thing it pointed out to me is, you know how you can put the they have a name for it, but you can put the descriptors in there, so when people mouse over it, it tells them what's in the picture.
Yeah, that's the alt tag for
Yes, the alt tag.
for people with disabilities, with screen readers.
Yes, for graphics.
For people who have vision impairment. So it
Exactly.
it reads what you imprint on the web page.
Yes, you can write a tag in there. And so many times I skip over that, Terry, because I don't need that. I don't need it. But let's be considerate. There are other people out there searching the web looking for what you have.
And there's a law for that, because is it section 503 or 530 something? There's a number. Terralina knows
part
that.
of the Disabilities Act.
Yes,
yeah.
It was maybe 15, 20 years ago that the government put this in every website, and that's why you see Beyonce was sued, and some other websites were sued because they didn't have those little things that Terralina said, like alt tags for screen readers, for people with vision. So the government has written a whole set of rules, like the website has to have this, that, and that to accommodate people with disabilities. So it's a law, and people don't know about it. It's been on the books at least 15 years, maybe more.
Yeah.
And when I'm going in and updating, and when you do a post and you put a picture up, I type "woman on a couch with red hair," so people will know. And okay, it's a little bit more tedious, but you're trying to serve everybody, right?
Yes, and
when you're trying to help everybody,
when you understand the reason for it, it makes you more willing to take the time to put the alt tags on.
Yeah, it's section 503.
Thank you.
The law.
Of the Disabilities Act.
So the Disability Act. So, because I remember it was a big deal when I was still at the EPA, that it was a big deal. Like, we had to do this sweeping change on the website for EPA, and it had thousands of pages. It was like, wow, but we had to do it.
Yep, so. And we had to go around and monitor if people were in compliance with ramps and different things about accessibility. But so that's what I wanted to share, that now these canes have readers in them that do even more. So, and now your iPhone is helping. So that's what I wanted to share. But I got one more thing that's on a little more humorous note. If you guys
we can use a laugh. I can use a laugh today.
I can use a laugh. Yeah. So let me see if I can screen share this. Just a second, guys. Hold on.
Yeah, it's so clunky to share in StreamYard. That's the one thing they need to fix.
It's okay. It takes a minute.
Yeah.
What we learned is you got to set it up
For
yeah.
beforehand.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it ain't working the other way. Because you got to, make it big and do some other stuff. And like,
Sound and
Okay, I wanted you guys to see this.
okay.
Can you see this
Yeah.
little squirrel? He's doing a superhero stance. So that we got a couple of pictures where people have been able to snap these squirrels
Oh my goodness.
doing their superhero thing. Can you see that?
Yeah.
yeah, like running over, jumping over the.
Are they any bigger? Let's see.
Instead of they jumping over. Suspended animation.
Yeah, it's superhero mode. And I just wanted everybody to know that you're all superheroes. You're all superheroes in our world. So let's see if we can get them just a little bigger here.
If you scroll back, we can see the big one.
Yeah, hold on. Can you see him?
I don't know if they actually do that on their own. Did they have some help?
No, this is how they usually land. And if you have a fast enough lens, you
Right,
can
you can catch
them in the process. So,
Oh,
yeah.
so they land like that. I got to watch the squirrels that run around.
And
Like
see, when they, like Carolina said, when they have the lenses and stuff, and they have the shutter where when you press it down and it takes like so many pictures in a millisecond. That's how they get these pictures.
right, and that's called a burst on
Right.
Apple. It's called a burst, and you hold
Yeah.
that thing down while you're taking a picture.
Yeah.
You'll have like 100 and some pictures.
Yeah, that's it. The burst option. You could do that with your phone.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how they get these pictures. Because the squirrel isn't freezing for the camera.
Like,
No, he is not.
The squirrel is moving, but the camera is taking frames per second. So you can
So I just thought that was funny, and I thought, gee, we really need a break these days.
somebody needs to Photoshop some capes on them, like Superman capes.
Yes, wouldn't that be cute?
I'm giving somebody some ideas.
Yeah,
Somebody
especially
does.
with Wonder Woman going straight to the.
Yes,
Stream.
going
I thought,
straight
oh,
to HBO Max, right?
wow.
So that's what I have for you guys this morning.
So,
But I know that TJ's got a lot for us because, my
oh
God.
man, I got this so much. I even got something that just happened last minute this morning that I caught.
Wow. Well, I want you to know that Tachi's not going to be here with us. So you
Okay.
got the floor.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. So this week is social media news for, this week. There's a lot of stuff going on. So I'm going to start with Twitter. Twitter has now combined in a way with Snapchat. So Twitter users can now share tweets to Snapchat. So how this works is in the Twitter app. You have when you go to share, there's an option and it says Snapchat camera. I tried it yesterday. It says Snapchat camera. So it takes a shot of the tweet and it takes it over to the Snapchat camera where you can, do the things that you need to do in Snapchat to make a snap. And then you put it on your Snapchat feed. And then if someone sees it, they can tap the image. It's a sticker. It's like a sticker that you move around in Snapchat. So they can tap the tweet sticker and it goes to Twitter. So why did they do this? So you don't have to take a screenshot of a tweet, go to your photos and, edit it and do what you want to do with it and then import it into Snapchat. So what do you think of that?
I think see, they are partnering up to get with, you know what I mean? They are partnering up to get with to compete, not necessarily compete, but to be in a better position than, because everybody TikToks to something.
Okay.
And they're making it where it's easier to post dual posts because it is a pain in the behind to try and post something on your one feed, and then you got to turn around, because I don't like the way when you do something in Instagram and you try and you post it to Twitter, it just says I posted a photo to Twitter and you don't get the picture.
Yeah.
Or anything. You get a link, and that's like, that's lame. I'm not gonna go through that. I want to see the picture.
Right.
I think too, with all that's going on with Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, all of that intertwining, this is helping people navigate two platforms simultaneously with ease.
Yeah.
And yet they are not the same company. So
Right.
maybe they won't run into the same issues as being accused of being a monopoly like Facebook.
Exactly. You
Right.
got it. So
Their
every
partners
so
is
the apps are
collaborating.
right. The apps are interlocking where you can share easily, and you can see this with Twitter and TikTok. The reason why I find a lot of TikToks. Remember we were talking about the ocean spray guys. There's some others. It's because they share the TikToks easily to Twitter. So when they do that, I don't go on TikTok every day, but I go on Twitter every day. So I know what's going on with TikTok because they're sharing. So the same thing here. You don't know what's going on with Twitter. You may be on Snapchat, but I can share something that I shared on Twitter, and I want to expand the reach of it and send it to Snapchat easily. Like Francine said, it's easy done now. All I have to do is share it, and it automatically slides it on over to Snapchat. I can do what I want, with the picture and text and whatever you're going to do, and then you share it to Snapchat. So your Snapchat audience gets to see what your Twitter audience saw when you tweet. And you can also share other people's tweets. It's not just your own. There's a share button. So if you see something interesting, remember we were talking about not the retweet. We were talking about we talked about so much stuff. It's the fact that you can curate. That's it. Remember we were talking earlier about curating. Yeah. So this is a way for you to share someone else's tweet, and you want to talk about it, and you want to send it to Snapchat, but you can bring it over as a sticker, and then you can put text on it, what you want to say. Hey, check this out, or did you know this, or whatever the terminology you're going to use, and then you share it to Snapchat. So they're making it easy for people to interlock the two apps. So this is Twitter and Snapchat, but remember now with TikTok is easily shared. Their share feature is great. They got a button that just and it just goes to Instagram stories, it goes to Twitter, it goes to this. So it's the exposure of it, more exposure.
And see, when they make it easy to share, because sharing is caring, they made it where it's not cumbersome. You know what? TikTok made it easy even to share to your story, like TJ just said, to your stories on Facebook, to your stories on Snapchat. Anywhere you want to share a TikTok, they made it real simple, and it's not a lot of drama.
It's real easy. It's a tap, and it says where do you want to go. You can share it. You can save it. There are so many options in TikTok. That's why everybody says, well, why is TikTok so popular? Because their editing features to make these quick videos, the editing features are easy, and the sharing features are easy. So TikTok knew what it takes to say, hey, how do we get more TikToks in the world? Well, you got to enable the sharing, and it has to be easy.
And okay, because a lot of people complicate stuff.
Now, see, here's the thing. How do you know if it's easy? If I can put it in the hand of a 5-year-old and she can make a TikTok quicker than I could, somebody had enough sense to say, hey, can you work this? I mean, seriously.
Right. A 5-year-old and an 80-year-old, if a 5-year-old and an 80-year-old can do it.
Yeah. Can you work this?
That's the coverage. That's the bookends.
From 5 to 80, you should be able to do this.
Yes. And if it's difficult and you got to figure it out,
then we need to go back and rework it. You know what I mean?
Go back to the drawing board and make this thing easy. Because
and we do it all the time with products.
Well, remember when Instagram Reels first came out, and I was like, I looked at this thing, I was like, this is confusing.
Mhm.
TikTok is easy. You just go in and tap, and that's it. I was like, well, Reels, you're kind of clunky.
You know what people are going to do? They're going to go make it in TikTok and post it.
Yeah, that's what they
what's
did.
going on.
Yeah.
Because people find a workaround.
Right.
But here's my question of, I don't know if we're there yet. Reels, didn't they just come out with the ability for you to make purchases on Reels?
Yeah, I have that as one of the things, but I have some more Twitter news. We'll get to that in a minute.
Do tell.
Okay, so this is breaking news today, like this morning. So there, I've mentioned this. There's a reverse engineer, coding engineer named Jane Manchung Wong on Twitter, and she's always looking at code. It's like a mechanic looking under the hood. So she's always looking for code because these apps, when they're testing things, they will change the code. So I follow her on Twitter. A lot of people follow her on Twitter, and so this morning she found some code in the Twitter app that might be a sign that Periscope is shutting down.
Oh no.
No.
There's no news. There's no news from Twitter. There's no news from Periscope. But this person who was she's uncovered a lot of things that these apps secretly test. Because if you're not looking at the code, you're using the app. So she's a coding engineer, and she knows how to read the code for the apps and stuff. So she found this little piece of code, and it's saying that there's an indication that they might shut down Periscope for good. Now, when I heard this makes a lot of sense because a lot of people aren't using Periscope as much or the Live as much. And also they might just, just turn off Periscope and just keep it live in Twitter because, Periscope Live is Twitter Live.
Right.
But instead of doing Twitter Live, you're doing Periscope. So if they close the app down, it's not going to stop the live, I don't think. I think you're just going to go live in Twitter, which a lot of people don't do.
As long as they keep it live somewhere and don't pull continue of buying.
Right. So see, that's what I'm saying. This isn't an indication of, this isn't news of it's happening. It's just that when these apps test things, they put it in the code. And if you're not a code searcher or code investigator or Sherlock Holmes or whatever, and you don't care about the code, you're not going to know. But she's one of those people that she looks at all the social media apps and looks at the code and says, oh, they might be testing this or they might be doing that, because she knows how to read the signs. So, and I saw the piece of code and I was like, yeah, that looks like they're going to shut down the app. But again, Twitter has shut down Vine. Francie just said Twitter shut down Vine. I don't know. What do you think of that?
Well, Mark has a comment. Mark said these apps were constructed by the same people that write the IKEA assembly instructions.
True. So and I'm bringing this up just to say it's a get ready. Something might be coming with Periscope. But have we used Periscope a lot? Have we heard talk of Periscope lately in the last 12 months?
Well, Bertram is here from Periscope.
Yep, and so is Gabby.
Right. So we got here. That's funny. Now I can go out. He said that's funny. Now I can go out, but that's a lot of Black women's income.
But see, what I want you to realize is that they may just fold it into Twitter because Twitter has live. You can do a live in Twitter.
And so if it's Twitter lives, and maybe they turn off the Periscope.
Because Twitter, because it comes from Periscope. It's just, it doesn't say Periscope in Twitter, it's just Twitter Live. So see, it might be a folding into Twitter and just closing the brand Periscope, but you can still do live in Twitter. Because your Periscope lives go to Twitter.
Right.
Okay.
So they're just gonna call it Twitter Live.
There's activity in the Periscope app, but not a lot, because if you go to Twitter, you see the live from Periscope. Does that make sense? It can get a little confusing. It's
one of the reasons why I probably don't have a Twitter account anymore. But go ahead.
There are a lot of people on Twitter.
But not on Periscope. There are a lot of people on Twitter Twitter, but not a lot of people on Periscope. That was my point. That the people that are using Periscope have been using it from day one, but it hasn't been a growth of let's download that app Periscope, or they might have deleted it because the lives. So the lives go to Twitter, but when you do a Periscope, it goes to Twitter.
Right, and a lot of times Periscope, there were a few people on there that I was following that I haven't been over there.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh,
The app. See, what we're talking about is opening the app Periscope. A lot of people don't open that app. Right. So they open
because they had it. I remember they tweaked it so that it would play on your Apple TV and some other stuff. But I open it up on Apple TV.
Right. They had an app. I remember that. They had an app for Apple TV. I don't know if that app is there or not. I haven't checked. But people they see the live on Twitter and they don't open Periscope. They open Twitter.
Because you're already in Twitter. Why leave Twitter?
Right.
Go to Periscope when you're
right. Because when you have a Periscope account, it's linked to your Twitter. You have a Twitter when you have a Periscope. Most of them.
Twitterscope.
Yeah, so it's a little, it gets a little confusing and whatever, but this is it's an indication by a sleuth that looks at code that says, hey, wait a minute, something
coming down the pipe.
Coming down, right? Something might be coming down the pipe for Periscope. Just be on the lookout.
And you heard it here first.
It came out this morning. Now, see, my advice is to get Twitter. I always tell everybody, get Twitter. You don't have to use it every day or what, but Twitter is a good source of information for whatever topic. It's topic based. It's not who your friends are based, like LinkedIn or Facebook. It's topic based. It's research. It's like I want to know what's happening in the news today. I can go and search for the certain person we will not name, and a whole bunch of stuff will come up. Or I'll search something on President-elect Biden and stuff will come up, or whatever news and topical. And also we talked about this Tuesday. I found a lot of stuff. We were talking about holiday content ideas to make your content festive this time of year. I found a whole bunch of stuff on Twitter just by searching holiday season, and a whole bunch of stuff came out.
And Pat has a comment. She says, it's just like when Catch folded when Periscope started saving shows.
That's it. That's it exactly, Pat. That's it. It's not going away. It's just that one app is taking over the functionality of the other. And again, this hasn't been announced. It's just that one person who's pretty much predicted things that's happening because she looks at the code says that this is what she found. So we're going to take it with a grain of salt, but be on the lookout.
Okay. Just like it was TJ who told us that WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram was going to merge,
and now they got problems. We're going to talk that. We're saving that one for the last. Okay. So those are the two things about Twitter. I wanted to mention something about Pinterest because we never talk about Pinterest. So Pinterest announced some new things today. They've added something called favorites, notes, and a new toolbar because of the increased use of pin boards during the pandemic. So, Pinterest is the place where you go and you can make vision boards, or, you can save things that you want to buy or trips you want to go on, or, a lot of people do it for decorating, recipes, you name it.
Like digital scrapbooking.
Yes, it's digital scrapbooking where you can save a piece of this and that. It's those little pins. So now that use of that app, Pinterest has risen in the last 10 months or so, since we've been in this thing. It's like, it's crazy. I don't even we're in this thing. So people are doing a lot of stuff from home. So Pinterest is that great tool where you can go, hey, next year I might want to take a trip, if we can, to Italy. So then you can go and search little places of the towns, your cities you want to go, where you want to eat, where you want to stay, what you want to visit, touristy stuff. Or if you're getting married next year, you can plan your bridal this and your bachelorette party and your flowers and your cake. And it's all full of ideas that you can save to your boards. So they've created these things because they're trying to make the navigation between the boards easy. And it is a little clunky. It is a little clunky. So they're trying to make it for, where you have notes to self. So the notes to self feature is add private notes to your pins on either public or private boards, including on boards where you're collaborating with others. So it can be like a place where you can pin notes for yourself or other people. And the two organizational tools are the toolbar. So it's designed for active boards with more than 150 pins. The toolbar will make it easier to sort through the pins by offering to connect users to actions that can be taken on the board. So things, organizing the board, creating to-dos, getting more ideas. And also they're doing another thing called, what is it? A board favorites feature. So you can pin your favorite boards. And it's, most of these tools are, like I said, the organization and moving between boards is a little clunky on Pinterest if you ever use it. So they're trying to make it better. So Pinterest is listening to the users and saying, hey, we got more people on Pinterest. So let's make this thing easier for everybody to use and make people happy. That's what it's about, making people happy.
Yeah, and I think it has to do with e-commerce too, because
that too.
You can sell on there, and if people can't find what they're looking for, you're less likely to use the app for e-commerce.
Yes, you make it easier, and e-commerce and online shopping is just taking off. It exploded. It's boom since the pandemic started. So now all these apps are looking at ways to make things easier, make things simple. Like we were saying with Snapchat and Twitter, make it easy and simple. People are going to be happy. They're going to stick around and use the app. So we want to do that. Now, talking about shopping, let's go into Instagram. So Instagram has launched shopping in Reels. Big surprise. I think we talked about it earlier, a couple of months ago. So they are putting shopping in Reels. Now, how does that work? So you're going to be able to see, it's going to say view products. When you do a Reel, there's going to be a little option, and you tap it, and then it goes into where you can shop. Now, Instagram has also changed their buttons. So at the bottom, there's a shop tab and a Reel tab. So when you wanted to create a post, now they moved that to the top right. So they're making it easier. They're changing the focus to shopping. Shopping. Okay. So, and they tested this in October. So I think we probably talked about it. And what they're doing with it. So it has a view products button. So you can buy, save, or learn more about the featured products. Also a branded content tag for influencers who are paid for their posts. Because a lot of influencers are on Instagram and they're paid to promote things. So they have to have that notation in there saying this is a promoted post or this branded influence. Yeah, like the ad, but they have to note that they're getting paid to promote this product or service or whatever. So now Instagram has shopping everywhere. So you can shop in the feed, you can shop in stories, you can shop in IGTV, and you can shop on Instagram Live, and now you can shop in Instagram Reels. Now everything is free now, but get ready for the fees to hit you maybe next year. All the shopping, Instagram will want they
somebody get paid, and they're just waiting.
Yeah. Get ready for the fees. I mean, if you're doing it, if this is something you want to use, and take advantage of it now while there's no fee, but just get ready. Instagram is going to be like, well, we want our cut 5% or whatever percentage. They're going to want their cut. Like every other online process, Shopify is not free. You have to pay. If you want to use PayPal or everything has fees. Yeah, they all have processing fees. So why wouldn't Instagram ask you to pay for this lovely service where you can sell your products on live or Reels or video, or you dancing, and it's fun now, but get ready for the fee. So they're doing that. So they're looking at my notes. So shopping in Reels now. So it's everywhere in Instagram. Shopping. They want your money.
Well, because they always wanted your money, but they couldn't, they had to figure out a way to do it. So
and another point I forgot to mention is that, okay, you said, what about ads? Well, Facebook is not getting as much money from ads, because remember they had there was the big boycott in July of Facebook ads, but the small business owners were still running ads on Facebook. But that's starting to change now because a lot of people are unhappy because Facebook relies on AI, artificial intelligence, to judge the ad, whether it's worthy of being on, or does it have something nudity or something that they're not supposed to talk about. So, but the AI that they use is starting to catch people who aren't doing anything, that everything is innocent, like the picture is innocent, the text is okay, and the Facebook AI is shutting down their ad account. So a lot of small business owners are getting mad. I just hear rumblings of, okay, my ad account was shut down. Why? Because this ad was flagged. Well, there's nothing wrong with the ad. There's no, everything's above board. There's no text. There's no this and no that. So Facebook has a problem with their AI, and there's just little rumblings of it. I read an article yesterday about it, so I might post it on my page if you're interested. But Facebook is still they still get a lot of revenue from ads, but it's just that the boat is getting a little rocky. But here you can make a change with the Instagram, with the fees from shopping, because people are shopping. Now that's not running an ad. That's you selling your products and services on Instagram. So Instagram wants to cut of that because they see their ad revenue getting a little, there's a little rumbling with people getting upset. So this is also an opening for Pinterest and Snapchat and TikTok to do online shopping and grab some of those people from Facebook. And the key is what we said, to make it easier. So that's the whole tie through, that to make everything easier for you to use, make everything easier for people to buy, means more shopping, which means more fees, which means more revenue for Facebook and all of the other apps. That's kind of tying it up. So why is all of this happening? That's the reason why.
And so here's the thing. There's supposed to be an exchange. I don't people, we're in business.
Yeah.
And if you're in business, you do need to pay for some services. I don't understand why some people think that we're supposed to get all this stuff for free.
And the company's supposed to survive.
Right. And we talked about that with the StreamYard. StreamYard did it right coming out the gate. They charged you out the gate.
Yeah.
So that we wouldn't have incidents of Smile Time, whatever ones were.
Huzzah, Blue Jeans. Well, Blue Jeans is still around, but it's on a different level now. They're enterprise level. Yeah, it's corporate. Yeah, so they're surviving.
People don't appreciate free.
No, because you didn't put any skin in the game. You didn't put any effort into it. It's free. You didn't make any. There's no exchange. Like you said, there's no exchange. It's free.
People really trust free.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. So Facebook was free from the get-go, and so everybody, I'm on, and wait a minute, I'm not getting as many people as I got before because they want you to buy an ad, right?
Yes.
And then, but you don't pay the ad, so if they don't get the revenue, then they're gonna keep shortening their offerings because they keep paying all them people in the background.
Yeah, they got the employees, they've got server costs, they got operational costs, and we're talking in the millions or maybe $1 billion. Who knows? But Facebook has to say, hey, we give you this service for free for now, because we talked about it. Would you pay $5 a month or $1 a month for Facebook? I think we talked about that maybe last year.
And if you're using it properly, and maybe you would invest more time, use it properly. If I had to pay $10 a month,
you put it. That's your investment in it, right? So you're saying, wait a minute, I'm paying $1 a month or $5 a month. Let me use this thing. Let me pay more attention to using it, or because I put my money in it. I made an investment in it. So, but if it's free, you go, it's free. I don't really care, and you just go about your business. So,
and it's over in the corner, like the possum sitting in the corner over there, just waiting. They just you're not using it. So
So we got some. Let's stop and take some. I see a bunch of comments.
Mark,
I forgot where we stopped.
I think Mark said places I would like to most visit to experience COVID. This was a while back.
Yeah.
He says, I'm anxiously awaiting to send a electric shock button. And then Bertram says, what if you don't give them your money?
Uh-huh.
Then they'll fold eventually.
Exactly. And then they want too much money too fast. And
You see, that's what we were saying about with StreamYard. That was a good example. They started out the gate saying, make
But
the payment.
They had a free.
Yeah, they still have it. They still have it.
And yes, and so you can level up, but some of them didn't offer that.
Right.
And the free option, you were gonna have that duck on the picture.
Yeah, see where this. I was trying to point to it over there. The icon we have at the top right above Fran.
They probably can't see it because
yes, they can see that bag.
Bag, but you would have a duck.
Exactly.
Right, that's what I'm saying. The duck would be there instead of the bag, the red bag.
Right.
Their branding would be on the free version.
And it should be if you didn't pay for it.
Right, because when you use the free StreamYard version, people go, what's that duck? It says made with StreamYard. You go, what's that?
Marketing.
And then you go and you see what it's all about and then you pay. So that's why the free version is still around. But I mean, it's about business. There has to be exchange of goods and services for monetary for money. Otherwise it's charity, right? And so that's why they want their fee. They're giving you charity now. Instagram is saying use the shopping features that we have for now because we're not charging any fees, but in about 3, 4, 5 months we're going to come knocking and saying, okay, you've had a free your shopping, you've had a free account. You haven't had to pay any fees. Now it's time to pay the fees of 1%, 2%, whatever they decide. But that's what that's business.
That's the cost of doing business.
Yes, that's the cost of doing business.
Okay, so they make it easy for you to do commerce on your site. You don't have to try and get your Square store hooked up with it. They're saying, hey, we will do the payment processing for you. Right now that payment processing is free, but we don't know payment processing is nowhere near free. If you call some of the other payment processors that are out there, PayPal, could be Square, it could be Stripe or whatever, it's not free. And what Facebook and Instagram and all of them are doing is making it easy so you don't have to go through all of that clunkiness and to set up that, okay, we'll do it. Put your bank account here. We'll send the money to this account for you. And you're not having to do all that work.
Yeah. There was I think did we bring up the comments from Bertram? Just said there was something about Twitter. Twitter is biased. Did we talk about that?
News based and biased is what he said.
Oh, okay.
It has
overgrown itself. I don't know about it being biased. I haven't sensed that, but
well, that's some of the arguments why people go into Parler and the other conservative spots instead of Twitter, because they're saying there's bias. But it's a free opinion app. Like you get to freely say what you want to say on Twitter within reason, because we've seen it with the election that that guy was censored. All his tweets now have a disclaimer on them because you have to. You can't let information.
Truth matters.
You can't let people give their opinion freely if it's something that's detrimental to public health or the public at large. So you can say stuff, but there's a limit because society puts a limit on it. You can't share pornography there. I mean, it is there, but it gets taken down. So there are some things that people will try to post on Twitter. So it's a free forum, open forum for you to say what you want to say, but be prepared for the consequences of people not agreeing with your statement or you
Okay.
being out of step with society norms. There's society norms, and if you're out of step with that, you can say it on Twitter, but you're going to get the attack. People are going to come at you and say, you can't say that, you shouldn't say that, you're impressed, you know, bad impression, all of those things. So you have to be willing to accept the consequences of stating your opinion. And some people can't do that. So, I mean, they can do it, but I mean, they can't handle it. Some people can't handle it.
Can you
So-
handle the truth in my
Right. So if you can't handle it, stay off of Twitter. But it is an open source forum of news, opinions. Now, bias comes from people. Doesn't come from Twitter. Comes from people
that are
post
on Twitter?
And the same thing for Facebook. The bias comes from the people. It doesn't come from the app.
Technology.
The app is bits, ones and zeros. That's all it is. It's not a thing that thinks. The people that use it, that's where you got the problem. So this goes into the big story this week with Facebook. The government has formally filed an antitrust lawsuit against Facebook. So they're trying to force Facebook to sell and break up Instagram and WhatsApp. Now, we talked about it earlier. I said before, I saw the signs like they were putting it together, making this big Death Star. I like to call it the Star Wars reference. If you don't know, that's a Star Wars reference. So now the government is formally putting charges in to say, we don't like what you're doing, Facebook. You have got to divest yourself of WhatsApp and Instagram because they're saying that it used a buy or bury strategy to snap up rivals and keep smaller competitors at bay. So this is the deal. This is why they're bringing it up, because here's the statement. It says the complaint alleges that Facebook has engaged in a systematic strategy, including its 2012 acquisition of up-and-coming rival Instagram, its 2014 acquisition of the mobile messaging app WhatsApp, and the imposition of anti-competitive conditions on software developers to eliminate threats to its monopoly. They're saying this conducts harm for competition, leaves consumers with few choices for personal social networking, and deprives advertisers of the benefits of competition. So this is it. This is what the government is saying to Facebook.
Okay, can I say something?
Yes, let's talk about it.
Some people didn't have to sell to them.
Thank you. Isn't that what we just said earlier about, being on Twitter?
You do it. Can I say something? You do have to sell if you can't compete, because what they'll do is they'll just
no. Instagram was competing. Instagram was fine.
Competing. Instagram did not have to sell to them because Instagram was all photo based. Instagram, Facebook couldn't compete with Instagram.
That's right. Facebook could not compete with Instagram. They saw what was coming. They're the Death Star. They're the bigger thing. So they ate by buying Instagram. They said, well, we can't beat you. We're going to buy you and absorb you into us.
But here's the thing. Instagram did not have to sell. They could have did just like Snapchat and said, oh, no, we don't want to sell to you.
Thank you for bringing up Snapchat. Thank you because that's a case right there. Facebook tried to buy Snapchat because they wanted the stories feature.
Yes.
That was the first app with the stories feature, and it was successful. Facebook was like, okay, we're not going to reinvent the wheel. We're just going to buy our competition, Snapchat. And Snapchat said, hell, I think it was $3 billion at the time.
Yes.
Snapchat said, hell no, we're not selling. Snapchat said, we're not selling. We're not. Facebook got mad and stole they had, and they did steal it. They had engineers on Facebook say, copy stories.
But here's the thing. Snapchat ain't hurting.
No.
Because just because you can copy, that's like getting a knockoff purse.
See, I like to keep. Hold on, let me bring. I like
that analogy, Fran.
Hold on, I like to keep these numbers on. Here we go. I like to keep these numbers. I keep these in my file for we do every week. So in the U.S., so it's 34% of U.S. teens still rank Snapchat as their favorite social media platform. Putting it ahead of TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. Also, Snapchat reaches 90% of all 13 to 24-year-olds. more than Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger combined. So
So
they're not hurting. Snapchat is good in its lane. It's not trying to run a race with Facebook. It never did. Facebook tried to buy Snapchat because they saw it was competition that was going to hurt them. So
but here's the thing. If I was the attorney for and I had to represent Facebook against the government, I would be like, well, my demographic is not, I'm not taking over the world. All I got is what is the demographic for Facebook? It's definitely not the Snapchat people.
No.
it's not Gen Z. That's why they did the reels to compete with TikTok.
Right. And so I'm trying to compete with the TikTok, but the people on TikTok is not going for it.
So this is the thing. Facebook buys its competition. That's why they're saying this is wrong, because they buy it. Like I said, Instagram didn't have to sell. Snapchat did. Snapchat said, we're not selling.
And I still don't see how that's a monopoly, because Facebook really doesn't have a monopoly on the market. Just because we have all three are separate.
Because they're surviving. There's plenty of apps that are surviving.
But what they're saying is that their process,
yes, the process
could lead to a monopoly.
Yeah,
but it's not going. Come on, really?
Yes.
No, seriously.
It's like if someone were buying up all of the railroads.
Okay, I understand that, but I'm talking about, in order for that to happen, them kids got to come off Snapchat to go over to Facebook to make that happen.
They're upset because they can't get that because that's the coveted age group, 13 to 34, I think, or 18 to 34. I'm not, but I'm saying from advertising, because I come from advertising, that was like the golden group, 18 to 34. Those are the ones that get the attention. The younger ones in that age group, they influence the older. The teenagers influence the purchases of the parents.
Right.
See, that's why they want it. So the younger they are, 18 to whatever, 13 to whatever, they're the ones that tell their parents, buy this, I want this. And as a kid, I did it. Bug my parent for this and that and that.
Think about Christmas.
Yeah.
Ask them, what do you want?
But that's the golden age group for advertising. That's the group they don't want. There's advertising for older. Let's say 70 and up. There's advertising for that, but that doesn't bring as much revenue to advertisers as that golden group. So that's why they always focus on that, which is why Facebook wants to stay younger, but they can't, because the Gen Z go, you're not cool. We don't want to be where grandma is.
Exactly.
And so therefore there's not going to be a monopoly, because everybody that they're over there between
because it's a matter of choice. Is what
right. And it's like it's not like before, when AT&T was a monopoly and there was no phone companies to choose from.
Right.
I can go to Instagram, I can go to Snapchat, I can go to TikTok, I can go to Reels if I want to, and WhatsApp I'm not using. So there's too many choices for that to become a monopoly. Them kids ain't coming off of Snapchat to go to Facebook to, oh my God.
That's it. You cannot make Gen Z, a young millennial group, they do what they want. You can't, and that's the problem with these older corporations that do different things, that they have people that are in a certain age group who don't understand Gen Z. You have to understand them. Right. They do what they want. You can't control them. So if they don't want to be on Facebook, guess what? They're not. And that's, Facebook knows it, because they see the young group jumping off. Or Facebook, who's on that? That's what they say.
I'm telling you, I helped some kids set up their Facebook thing. Them kids don't even be over there. They are over there on Snapchat and TikTok. They are not even, they even bypass.
And there's the new one. There's the Triller, Dub Smash, House Party. There's a whole bunch of new apps. So those apps are thriving. They're not as big as Facebook, but they're thriving.
Right. And so people are over there. So Facebook really doesn't have a monopoly, because we got choices to go. I don't want to go to Walmart. I'm going to Target, or I'm going to somewhere else. I don't have to I'm not locked in. Now, if it was like AT&T where they were the only phone company,
yeah,
that's a problem. But and that's even with T-Mobile and Sprint and AT&T and Verizon. I got choices. I don't have to stay with just one company and be locked in. Like in Canada, if Coach Karen was here, I think they only have one provider,
right?
To choose from. So because of the choice, how can it be a monopoly?
But see, when we talk about Facebook versus the other apps, and the other app goes, well, I'm not as big as Facebook. You don't need to be as big as Facebook. Look at Snapchat. I love to talk about Snapchat because people were saying for the last couple of years, Snapchat is dead. Snapchat is dying. It's not. It's a niche app for a certain market. They're happy not being Facebook.
I think we can refer to these as the boutique apps.
Yeah, boutique. Yeah.
You know, people go to certain brands and that's where they shop. And the thing about teenagers is they've always been rebellious. I don't care what year you pick. We've always done what we wanted to do.
Exactly. You can go back to the 60s. You can go back to you could go to the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, every generation.
It's just being young. And
yes. Nobody. So Bertram has some comments over here.
Bring them up.
He said you can offer for cheap and still make money. They're overpricing electronic bits of information. Okay. Then he said, odd, CAN, CANN is government run and government regulator. CAN is the internet. Yeah, and anyway, I don't know how good a job they're doing with that, but okay. The government is a monopoly because it owns CAN. Okay, so he's saying the government is the monopoly because it owns CAN, which is the internet. They have the say so. Isn't that the regulation? Is the FCC over that, or did they change that out?
I have no idea what happened during this administration.
I'm not sure because I haven't paid attention either.
With regulation, because they were not.
I'm waiting for January 20th to start paying attention to the government.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, February. I mean, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram all take their cue from CAN. CAN regulates the internet. I know CAN put some things into the Spam Act and some others that are in place on the internet, but the people who are trying to do all this, if they got gray hair sitting in there trying to drag Facebook into something ain't gonna work. They're gonna need to put some younger people on a panel.
Some people who actually understand.
Right.
There's more than one app, and that, like Terry said, they appeal to different demographics. There are boutiques, and then there are department stores, and then there's, what they call Lowe's and
right.
So let me ask this: do you think that Facebook could now? Because remember we talk about paying for Facebook. Could Facebook say now we're going to start charging because that way we get to do more of what we want versus being free and having the government chop us up? I mean, would that be a solution?
So before I answer that, so how would they chop up? Just be separate again like they were?
See, that's the thing. This is what we have to see what's going on with this lawsuit because that's what they want.
Would they make them sell it off?
Do you pull it back up because I copied it from the FTC?
So you would do like AT&T did
is they break it up and make it sell off.
Okay, do like they did with AT&T, and then there's Pac Bell and so and so and so and so, but now they're all back under AT&T again. So how long did that last?
So this is what it is. The FTC is seeking a permanent injunction in federal court that could, among other things, require divestitures of assets, including Instagram and WhatsApp, prohibit Facebook from imposing anti-competitive conditions on software developers, and require Facebook to seek prior notice and approval for future mergers and acquisitions. So they're talking about the acquisition of other apps is what they're trying to stop. And they also put in there about breaking up Instagram and WhatsApp, like putting it back out. Instagram would be, independent from Facebook, and WhatsApp would be independent like before.
Own it.
Well,
we don't know.
I don't think they would own it.
We don't know if they're going to make them sell it off.
Yeah, we don't know yet. This is like the first, it's the legal court.
Okay, so here's the thing. Who are the people bringing up these charges? Because
We don't want to go down that road either right now.
okay, but the reason why I'm asking is we got bigger fish to fry.
Yes,
Okay,
we do.
Pandemics and
I'm like,
yeah.
and because the it's not. I don't know if they're enemies of Facebook that's trying to say something, but I'm like, what is the problem?
Why y'all hating on Zuck? I don't know.
And then December 26th is when all the safety net things that we have for people
Yes.
who are unemployed, it ends December 26th. Like they get no more money. Like unemployment, and
A moratorium on rent, all of
yes,
that.
all of that ends. So we're heading into, like Fran said, why are we talking about this when we got that other fish to fry that's bigger, and we need to work on that because
this sounds like a no look pass. Okay, let's have them look over here
while we do something.
Oh, a distraction.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah, because see this way, if you talk about this and make it big news, you don't talk about what's his name, McConnell, and all those guys trying to not give people money. Like I just said, December 26th is the day. Boom, cut off.
After Christmas.
This is a Houdini move right here.
Yeah. So that's the thing we should be mad about, not this Facebook thing. Because I heard about, I've been listening to it and watching. I was like,
misdirection.
Yeah, misdirection. I'm like, we got bigger things to think about. I don't really care what they do with Facebook. Listen, Facebook's going to be around. It's the Death Star. It's the Death Star. Unless, like in Star Wars, unless you get Luke Skywalker to get in the thing and put the direct target into the spot, the spot of the Death Star where it would blow up the whole thing. It's nothing happening to it.
But here's the thing. Then they rebuilt the Death Star. So
they rebuilt it. That's the whole.
And Zuckerberg is still going to be rich tomorrow. So
yes,
that's serious.
So what is the point?
I really don't understand the point. We still gonna be using Facebook, and some of them people fighting is using Facebook too.
I'm going to tell you,
fight Facebook.
I'm going to tell you this: as long as Facebook allows small business owners to run cheap ads where they get, where they make money off and it's successful and it helps them sell things, Facebook ain't going nowhere. As long as they're doing that, you can forget it. And they got Instagram with the shopping now.
And other people are like, yeah, somebody was not thinking this through. So you want to shut down where people are making money, and you want to shut down their
year where you need taxes more than ever,
and where people are unemployed. And
if you ever needed taxes, you need them this year.
So that's what I'm saying. This is I really haven't paid attention to it. I was like, oh, okay. I just went okay, and I moved on. So
and businesses pay taxes. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. They ain't gonna be paying none if y'all did like, well, I can't sell on Instagram, I can't sell on Facebook because y'all did whatever you did to it, and now what?
It's like grandma trying to take a bite of corn without her dentures. You just gumming it. You gumming it. It's a bite from a lion with no teeth.
Hey there.
The lion doesn't have teeth.
Yeah,
The tiger doesn't have teeth.
They didn't think this through. They just tried to do something, and I'm like, who had the time to even pull together the people to send out the order? What is it? The subpoena and blah blah blah. And I'm like, what is going on in the country that we are watching that?
Mark, these chicks are a monopoly and need to be broken up. Hey, Lakeisha, what's happening?
Hey, Lakeisha,
there.
384 Barrera. Hello.
Listen, as long as small business owners, people can run cheap ads because they're less expensive than Google ads. As long as people can do that with Facebook and Instagram and like the shopping, you're making money selling, buying and selling. Mm-hmm. They're good. This is, Zuckerberg is going to put his team of lawyers on that, and they're going to fight this over to the side while they still count the money on this side from running ads, from people running ads. When that stops, then there'll be a problem.
Yeah. And if you take away Facebook, what will you do instead? Oh, wait. MySpace.
And remember the Cambridge Analytica thing a few years ago? I was like, oh, what happened? You're still using Facebook?
Because that is how Facebook is. If for like it for better or worse,
It's
people
here.
are connecting on Facebook. You can see grandma without having to fly there.
Yep.
And without having to go into the home.
You can reach your audience doing a live stream and selling off of the live stream, and it doesn't cost you anything right now. Who's not going to take advantage of that? It's free.
Well, there you go. I think people need to get somewhere and sit down.
Okay, and that's all I have. This is your weekly social media wrap up. Thank you.
We're almost at our time limit. So,
but thank you, TJ. Some of this needs to common sense and common. So there, we got that.
What can I tell
It's a discussion that will continue on because this will be in the courts. The Facebook situation, it will be in the courts. So
when they want to send an Amber Alert all over the world, we'll control it at will.
Okay.
So they're saying
somewhere.
Control it at will.
Keisha got a comment.
Get somewhere and sit down.
Yep.
Because in the terms of the kids, you're doing too much. That's to get somewhere and sit down to translate.
The time to worry about Facebook is when they're not making revenues from ads and not making revenue from the fees.
Let me tell you, people would freak out if they woke up in the morning and locked the doors and said, "We done. We taking our money and we're going home."
If Facebook does a blab,
yes, they would just talk about.
You got a message on like we did that morning. We got blab. Blab is the da 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 da. Get your videos. I was like, say what?
If they turned out the lights and went home, let me tell you who would advocate to get them back online.
Oh,
the government. Because so many people
would be like they would be standing at the doors of the look
at the Capitol talking about what happened. Okay, I'm just saying. Think about it.
There's a lot of talk about because of the social dilemma. I don't know if anybody's watched it. I haven't watched it. I just heard the talk about it. I will get around to it when I'm bored. But the social dilemma was this thing it's on Netflix about how these apps are controlling your life and somebody should do something about it. No, you do something about it by stop using it and delete the app. Nobody's making you use it. They're free.
And see, that's the lack of self-control, the lack of self-discipline, the lack of self-responsibility.
There you go.
I want to blame you because I have this phone and I can't stop looking at it. Really?
Yeah, I'm not saying that Facebook is doing good in the world because people, like I said, it's a tool. Some bad actors, some bad people are using it to do bad things, live streaming horrible things. I understand that, but how do you stop it? You either you get rid of the app, or like you said, you don't use it. How can Facebook stop people from using live to commit a crime or do something live? They can't. It's the people using it. That's the problem.
So like TJ talks about, like we can take a hammer and hammer a nail, or you can take the hammer and hammer somebody's head in. It's your choice.
These are not new issues.
No, they're not. It's just that
these are the same issues we had
in the forefront.
Television, radio, and other forms of media. Okay.
And the thing I always say about the hammer is the hammer is used to make homes for the Habitat for Humanity. That's doing good, and that's using a hammer. Also, a hammer can be used to bash somebody's. I'm sorry, they bash someone's head in, and they're not here. That's still a hammer, but it's not the hammer. It's the person that's holding it. Same thing with social media. Who's using it? How do you stop that? That's society. How do you stop it? Mark has a comment about, because I haven't watched this. I want to.
The dilemma is terrifying. It's more insidious than simply personal responsibility. It's conditioning, literally changing our brains. I still have to participate in that party.
Okay, see, yeah, you have to participate. And see, I Thank you, Mark, for your opinion, because I'm gonna watch it today, because I hear people talking about this thing like it's the boogeyman. So I'm always for personal responsibility, but we are also in a society where people can't do that. I don't know the reason why, behavioral or societal or political, but some people can't do that. It's like smoking. Some people can't put the cigarette down, even though here in New York there's free. You
Now,
get free cigarette, free this, free that to stop smoking, but people still can't do it. So
now there's a good use for grandmas.
what?
Put us in a car and let us drive by
Oh,
and have a chat with some of these people.
see, we're getting into the point where we want government to take over our lives, and I don't want that.
And that is not a good thing. You need to control yourself, because
Yes.
if the government gets in
Good home training.
I want the government to inspect the meat processing plants, because that's something I can't see. So the government should be standing there going, what is that, good meat or bad meat? Don't stamp it USD. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I want to go. I don't want them telling me about social media, because this is what I say, on the weekends I turn off. I don't pick up done, because I don't want to do that, because I do it every day during the week for work. That's I'm doing it 24/7. So that's what I'm saying. I take the responsibility of putting my phone down, and it doesn't tip me at all unless somebody messages me, and then a little pop-up notification.
And with that in mind, this is how you get communication now. This is our mode of communication. Before, you used to have to wait till you got home before you got the phone call, or to listen to the voicemail. You couldn't get it.
Right.
TV went on at 11 o'clock, right?
Right.
And
so
you didn't get to see it again until they came back on.
So it wasn't
whatever it was.
So it wasn't the television. It was the people who put the programming on after midnight.
Yeah.
It was. Go ahead, TJ.
No, I was gonna say I agree with some of this is addicting. Some people have addictive behaviors. It would be social media, it would be drinking, it would be smoking, it would be eating, it would be it would be whatever it is. But if you have that addictive personality, the social media is a part of that. The app, using the apps, you have to stop yourself, and it's hard for some people to do. So I don't want the government to regulate that. They don't make people, do they force people to go into rehab? No, it's a choice. So the same thing with social media. You have to make a choice to say, I'm not going to use this. And I know it's hard, but I'm just saying.
Or I need help.
Right. It's the same thing.
Like there are the 12-step program for the people who need to get off of
substance abuse.
Go get some help.
Detox.
But to shut it all down, because this is the means of communication that we have right now.
And just like people are not going to stop selling cigarettes or alcohol.
Right. That was going to say that.
The planet with that stuff being sold.
Yeah. So there are even more distilleries being created because they're making smaller niche boutique alcohol labels of, I saw a thing about bourbon. Like there's so many versions of bourbon now, where before, years ago, it was just Jack Daniels. It was just a couple of things. Now anybody can get into that market as a smaller niche boutique thing. So do you tell people to stop making alcohol? Does the government tell people to stop making alcohol? No, they tax it.
Yeah, but they tried that. We tried shutting it down, and the people just went underground and made it so.
Right, prohibition. But the government realized that, and they let people. They said, okay, you can have alcohol, but we're going to tax it.
Right. And Mark's comment says, on this we disagree. Personal responsibility is applicable, but it isn't. It is an entirely different conversation when you are dealing with addiction. Yes, alcoholics can simply be responsible by not picking up the drinks. Social media is rewiring the brains. It is different for us because we are old enough to have lived it before it existed.
I agree with Mark. I agree with that because we're all older. Yes, because that's why I'm saying I can turn it off. But the younger, they don't have that switch, and I agree with you on that.
And then it comes back to your family, who's giving them the phone at 10, 12, 3.
The parent is paying for the bill. You're paying for, and I always say, we're analog. I agree. I grew up analog, but these kids are growing up digital. Everything is digital. They ask us. they asked the voice thing to, I want a Barbie house thing, and it comes to the house. You remember we talked about that? The parents was like, why are these packages showing up at our house? Because the kid figured out I can use the voice assistant to order what I want because I see mommy and daddy doing it.
So the times have changed.
Yes.
And because Leave It to Beaver and them, they didn't have to deal with all of the stuff that we have now.
Right.
So we have to now decide how we're going to handle
And I agree with Mark that I don't want the government doing it. I want an independent private entity or something charitable to say, hey, we can help you with your social media addiction. I don't want the government to shut it down. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I don't want the government to do it because it would be horrible. Caroline and I know the back workings, the inner workings of the government, and I don't want that.
And how slow we are.
Slow and behind and archaic and behind the times.
Very clunky. Mm-hmm.
I would want an organization, a charitable organization, philanthropic or something, Bloomberg. I'm just saying Bloomberg, but somebody with that kind of level of money to say, hey, we got to help people. So here's a charitable foundation that we're going to provide services for people who need help, separating themselves from social media. Or like I said, on the weekends, I don't, I only use it an hour a day or whatever the process is. I don't want the government doing it.
Right.
And I have a feeling that you're going to see a lot of people disconnect once we're able to navigate the planet again. You know what I'm saying? People are not going to be on here as much as they are right now.
And as far as I use my phone, but I'm ordering food. I'm not on social media looking to see who likes me.
Right.
Not
but see, going to Mark's point, he's saying that the younger crowd, the Gen Alpha now is like 9, like Charlene was saying, 5-year-olds and 9-year-olds and 11. That generation, they need help.
They said television was going to ruin my generation.
Yeah, it's going to ruin your eyes. So your brain is
going to the devil.
It's the same thing. And we have had electronic toys for how long? Since the 60s?
But see, Carolina, to Mark's point, it's more concentrated now. It's like that times 100 for kids. It's like that. But again, the parents, you pay the bill, you got to be the one. Like when my daughter, I'm like, you can't have the phone during school. Put it on the charger. Otherwise, she'd be doing school with the and looking at it. Right. So I do that because I'm like, we pay the bill. So.
And here's the other thing. If you don't want your kids on the internet at night, unplug the flipping router. It's not that serious. Stop it.
You pay for it.
Put your phone in the box. I'm unplugging the router.
I don't understand why he won't do
disconnect. That's what I'm saying about the weekends. I disconnect. I'm like,
what I am telling you is when you unplug that router, you may be messing with the next gamer champion in your.
Oh, that's true. We got the other side of it. We got the esports now. I saw this thing. If you want to get, there was a good story on Real Sports. If you have HBO on Real Sports, they had a really good story about the esports and the kids and the kid that got the 2 million, and then the next kid got like 1 million, and then the third runner up got 500,000. It was like, they spent all day in front of that computer, the gaming computer.
Internship. Now you can look at it.
They even have coaches. Some of the older gamers are coaches for the younger ones, and they make money like that. I'm telling you, it's a weird world we're in.
Business.
It is.
But you still have okay, we need to take a break. You need to do your studies right now.
Absolutely.
So the guy that made 2 million, he spent all his time in front of a gaming computer in his room, and he never left the room. But that's the parent. But then what do? He won 2 million. What do you do? Well, he won 10 million, or 2 million, but he stayed. He didn't leave the room. Mark got another.
Mark said television did ruin our generation. It just took some time. The elevation of reality shows fostered a hunger for drama, which gave us a certain powerful political failure that, well, you know.
Okay. What I'm going to say about that is I don't watch reality TV.
I don't either.
Again,
I don't do that. So you may be right, Mark, because I don't do reality shows.
And Lakeisha says we collect all electronics before bed. Otherwise, they would be up all night.
You got to stop it.
The parent, somebody, whoever the I was going to say the adult in the room, but whoever the responsible person, somebody's got to be responsible in each household to do to make sure your particular household is not a statistic.
Yeah. You, the parent, have to say, okay, it's time for bed. In about half an hour, let me have that phone, or let me have that game thing, or turn that Xbox off. Or you have to do that, and it's hard. I mean, it's a pain because you got to do it all every day. It's a pain, but you got to do it.
And then you have okay, but if you addicted and can't turn it off,
that's what I'm
get some help too.
Exactly,
well,
that's what I'm saying.
If you unplug the router,
everything goes down. And see, here's the thing: you unplug the router, you're not getting anything but a phone call.
But add to that, we're in a pandemic, so we're inside. So what else are we gonna do? So it's a multi-layered.
You see what I mean?
Mark is funny. Mark said, "I'm waiting for the adult in the room to show up. Take my iPad from my coat."
See, there we have it. And I agree, Mark, that the app developers, it's called gamification. They make it where you get more rewards and more time you spend in the app, like scrolling through Instagram and all of that. I agree with that. They do write that in there, but we got to find a way, and I don't want the government to do it, but it's got to be a way to help people pull back. Just like with alcohol, with smoke, you got to pull back somehow. We got to have the help.
Yeah, because remember, Terry, when we went to Dave and Buster's, and I said, "This reminds me of a casino." This was
on purpose.
This is the training ground for the casino, because I'm like, what the?
That's like remember with Chuck E. Cheese, you got the game, the kids play the game, and put the money in the game, and the kids and the parents and their pizza.
It's like going to the casino cash-in window.
Because I felt like, cheese, I need to get out of here. And then they had good food over there on the side, relatively inexpensive. I was like, this is a little training ground to get you prepped for the casino.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
It's all by design. So what are we going to do?
I don't know.
You don't have to go in the store
a long time. We've had carnivals. It's the same thing as the
go home and make my own food. So I'm not exposed.
Yeah, because you couldn't win at the carnival. You kept on throwing that ring, and then you know you wasn't winning.
Exactly, by design.
I don't know. My mind won the big bear. None of us could, and I think it's because the level that they had it at, because she was
the angle, all of that set up.
We was walking around with that thing all night.
Lakeisha says, I can't turn off the router when they know how to turn it back on.
No, but you can take it in your room.
We got to figure it out, man. We got to figure it out.
That
the router is portable.
Yeah, is different as socks and shoes, but they do come together.
Yeah.
So anyway, this has been an interesting.
Yeah, we can keep going on, but we can't. It's Friday.
We're not going to save the world in 5 minutes. Oh my God! That was the objective of the program. Let me tune out.
I'm getting ready to unplug. It's the weekend. I'm going to unplug.
Yeah, and I'm just I everything I use is for work, so I don't. You
have to break the time. Yes, you have to break the time, especially because we're staying at home or sheltering in place or whatever. You got to break the time up, or else it's just one blob of time, and it's Groundhog Day, and you do the same thing every day. Remember the movie Bill Murray? Every day it was the same. That's what we're living.
Well, you need to get out the house and go for a walk outside.
Yeah, that too. Right, break it up.
Go outside. They didn't say we couldn't go outside. You just got to love when you do go outside. It's kind of creepy right now. And just go, like Terry said, get somewhere, sit down and pull out a book. Didn't say pull out Kindle.
Oh, speaking of book, real quick, I just was so fascinated with this. I had to go. I went to, because we have a library branch on the corner, so I went to get a book that I put on hold so we can go to the library, and they have this face scan, like a iPad thing on the stand, and you lean in and put your face in the outline and took your temperature. Otherwise, you can't get in. I just thought that was like, that's what we're living now.
Right. Technology is here. Actually, without technology, we would not be here. Remember that cable was running under the ocean between now and that's how we were talking to everybody.
And see, I was thinking they were gonna, somebody was gonna hold the little, they hold the little gun wand. No, they had it was like an iPad on a stand, and she was like, put your face in the outline. I was like, trying to put my face in the out. She's like, no, it's got to get closer. And I'm like, trying to get this. So I just thought it was fascinating. Like, just to get a book, I had to.
That is fascinating.
So that's what they're doing here for the library.
Yeah, my iPad could take my temperature. You just started a whole different conversation.
No, I just thought that was cool because now you can start. You can do that for the store. If you want to do the temperature, if you want to go to Starbucks or the store or the drugstore or the grocery store.
Mark is funny. The truth is that it only makes you pretty.
Well, I got in.
Go, girl.
I just thought that was really cool. It's very Star Trek. It's very Star Trekky.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been watching. I've been watching the rerun.
Oh, the new one?
No, I've been watching Star Trek because I had never seen it. The Next Generation.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me watch this, and then I'll go and pick up Discovery in a minute. I was like, okay.
Well, I want y'all to know Disney hit my account for $69 and some odd cents.
Yeah, and it's going up in March. It's going up.
For the annual.
I called them to find out it was an annual fee, not a monthly fee.
Right. Yes, that's the annual fee, and it's going to go.
I'm okay with annual. I'm not
the
okay.
The annual fee goes up $10, and the monthly goes up $1 in March.
Okay. So you mean it's going to be 70 something?
It's going to be, instead of 69, it'll be 79 after March.
Okay, we may have to have a talk next year.
Well, not for you. You already, you're already paid yours. So you're good. Okay. You're good. So if you pay this month, you don't have to pay until next December. So.
Okay, cool. This will work because I just had a talk with them. Okay.
But they're all increasing the fees. Netflix did it, Disney Plus.
Because YouTube did it, I was like, I'm ditching, not YouTube. YouTube TV. I was like, okay, I gotta go. I have much TV in the world, and I'm paying you that. I go back to cable for that.
Who is this?
In a book.
YouTube TV they lost their mind. I was like, And then they got the nerve, hey, you want to try YouTube TV? Nope.
I hate those every time I go in there's a pop-up to try something for free. I'm like, no, I don't want it. 30 days, no.
It's very deceptive too, the way they market it. Like
I don't know.
By accident, now you
I'm sorry, I don't want to be back in your world. And I don't understand why if I'm going to pay as much as you ask, and you need to give me red, you need to give me music, you need to give me everything you got for that price. Not I can't even get YouTube without commercials, and I'm paying YouTube TV. Really?
Crazy.
Bless them. Guys, we gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta end it.
Tuning in, we appreciate it. We appreciate all of you watching. I don't know how long we will be watching you from Periscope, but we want to say thank you. And we will be back next week, Monday. We'll be here with Coffee Tea Thoughts and Conversations. And TJ will be back on Tuesday, all things social media and digital marketing. Wednesday, Coach Karen will be talking about your money. Thursday, we'll be talking about health and wellness. And then we'll be back here next Friday with more Tech Life Weekly. Thank you so much.
Guys, and remember to go to the front of your own line. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.